nach nachma meuman, nach nachma meuman. Sipurei masios, the first story, the story of the lost princess. nach nachma meuman. Skash's cold stick, meet him verdwijnen, cold stick, meet him schochen, oefen, vaat de benen. Akkoorden zeggen, nach nachma meuman. Tamida, Samida, wo Amitien, Fattenlust zu tun, den Herz, Schmolz zu Bressen, Schied, sehr zu suchen, jeder Leben zu, Däumen, Eisig, Schleumoi. Nach meuman, meuman. Tale one, the lost princess. On the way I told such a story that whoever heard it had a thought of tshuva, return repentance, and this is the story. Nach meuman, the princess is lost. Once there was a king, the king had 6 sons and 1 daughter. The daughter was very dear to him, and he would cherish, in other words, love her exceedingly and play with her very much. One time, while he was together with her on a certain day, he became angry with her, and the words, "Let the not good one take you away," literally, the not good shall take you away, escaped from his mouth. At night she went to her room. In the morning no one knew where she was. Her father, the king, was very afflicted and went here and there looking for her. The viceroy, literally second in kingship, arose because he saw the king was very distressed and asked to be given an attendant, a horse, and money for expenses, and he went to search for her. He searched hard for her for a very long time until he found her. Now he tells how he searched for her until he found her. He went a long time in deserts, fields, and forests, and was seeking her quite a long time. He was going around the desert area and saw a way from the side. And saw a way from the side. He decided, since I have been going for such a long time in the wilderness and cannot find her, I will follow this path. Maybe I will reach a settled area. He went for a long time. Later on he saw a castle and many soldiers standing around it. The castle was very beautiful, with the soldiers standing around it in fine order. He was afraid of the soldiers lest they would not let him enter. Nach meuman. Later on he saw a castle and many soldiers standing around it. The castle was very beautiful, with the soldiers standing around it in fine order. He was afraid of the soldiers lest they would not let him enter. He decided, I will go and try. And he left the horse and went to the castle. They let him enter, and did not hinder him at all. So he went from room to room, and they did not stop him. He came to a palace and saw the king sitting there with a crown and many soldiers standing around him. Nach meuman, and many were playing on instruments for him, and it was very pleasant and beautiful there. And neither the king nor any of them asked the viceroy a thing. And he saw their delicacies and good foods, and he went and ate and went and lay down in a corner to see what would be done there. He saw that the king called for the queen to be brought, and they went to bring her. And there was a great commotion and a great celebration, and the musicians played and sang vigorously because they were bringing the queen. And they placed the throne for her and seated her next to him, and she was the king's daughter. And he, the viceroy, saw her and recognized her. Later the queen glanced and saw someone lying in the corner. She recognized him and rose from her throne, went to him, touched him, and asked him, "Do you recognize me?" And he answered her, "Yes, I know you. You are the king's daughter who was lost." He asked her, "How did you come here?" She answered him, "Because my father, the king, let the word escape, namely, that the not good shall take you. Namely, that the not good should take you, and here this is the place that is not good. And here this is the place that is not good." He told her that her father was very distressed and that he had been searching for many years, and he asked her, "How can I take you out?" She answered him, "You cannot take me out unless you choose for yourself a place and remain there for 1 year." Nach, nachma, meuman. Nach, nachman, meuman. The Beni Akudosh, she answered him, "You cannot take me out unless you choose for yourself a place and remain there for 1 year, and the entire year you must yearn for me to take me out, and whenever you have free time you must only yearn, ask, and hope expectantly to take me out, and you must fast, and on the last day of the year you must fast, and you must not sleep the entire 24-hour period," literally from period to period. He went and did so, and at the end of the year, on the last day, he fasted and did not sleep, and he arose and went there, that is to the king's daughter, to take her out. He saw a tree, and on it were growing very beautiful apples. It was very desirable to his eyes, and he went and ate from them. As soon as he ate the apple, he fell down and sleep overtook him. He fell down and sleep overtook him, and he slept a very long time. His attendants tried to wake him, but he could not be awakened at all. Later he awoke from his sleep and asked the attendants, "Where am I in the world? Where am I in the world? Where am I in the world?" The attendants, told him the whole story. "You have been sleeping a very long time. It is already several years, and I have sustained myself from the fruits." The viceroy, agonized very much, and he went there and found her there, that is the king's daughter. She lamented to him very much. "If you would have just come on that day, you would have taken me out of here, and because of 1 day, you lost. In other words, because you could not restrain yourself 1 day, and you ate the apple, because of that you lost. In truth, not to eat is very... In truth, in truth, not to eat is a very difficult thing, especially on the last day, when the evil inclination becomes very strong. That is, the king's daughter said to him that now she would make the prohibition more lenient, and he would not be forbidden to eat, because it is a hard thing to abide by, etc. Therefore choose for yourself a place again, and also stay there a year as before, and on the last day you will be permitted to eat. And on the last day, you will be permitted to eat. Only do not sleep. Nachma, nachma, nach, nachma, meuman, nachma, meuman. Therefore choose for yourself a place again, and also stay there a year as before, and on the last day you will be permitted to eat. Only do not sleep and do not drink wine, so that you will not sleep, because the main thing is to sleep. He went and did so. On the last day he was going there, and he saw a running spring, and its color was red, and the smell was of wine. He asked the servant, "Have you seen? This is a spring, and there ought to be water in it, but its color is red, and the smell is of wine." And he went and tasted from the spring. He immediately fell down and slept many years, until 70 years. There were many troops going along with the trains that followed behind them. There were many troops going along with the trains that followed behind them. And the servant hid himself because of the soldiers. After that went a carriage and covered wagons, and there sat the king's daughter. She stood next to him, went down and sat next to him, and recognized him. And she tried very much to wake him, but he could not be woken. She started to lament over him. She started to lament over him, that so many great efforts and toils you tortuously made these many years in order to take me out. And for one day, when you could have taken me out, you completely lost. And she cried very much about this. She said, it is a great pity on you and on me that I am here such a long time and cannot go out, etc. Afterwards she took the scarf off her head and wrote on it with her tears, and laid it down next to him, and stood up and sat in her carriage and rode away. Nach, nachma, meuman, the lament of the princess, in brackets, not from the story itself. Whoever wrote this paragraph, lament of the princess, how she can yet be found. Afterwards he awoke and asked the attendant, where am I in the world? 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 He told him the whole story, and that many troops passed through there, and that the carriage was here, and that she, the king's daughter, screams, it is a great pity on you and on me, etc. as before. Nach, nachma, meuman. 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 Meanwhile, he glanced and noticed the scarf lying next to him. He asked, who is this from? He answered him, she left it behind and wrote on it with her tears. He took the scarf and raised it up against the sun and began to see the letters. He read what was written there, her lamentation and her cries is mentioned, and it was written there that now she is no longer in the castle. He should just search for a golden mountain and a pearl castle. There you will find me. He left the attendant behind and went along to seek her, Nach, nachma, meuman. He left the attendant behind and went alone to seek her, and he went and sought her for many years. He decided that in the settled area there cannot be a golden mountain and a pearl castle, because he was an expert in the world map, which is called Chronik, is a chronicle. Therefore I will go in the deserts. He went searching for her in deserts. For many years afterwards he noticed a very large man, whose largest was beyond human bounds. And he was carrying a large tree, so large that in a settled area such a large tree would not exist. And he, the giant, asked him, who are you? He answered him, I am a man. He was amazed and said, I have been in the wilderness such a long time now, and I have never seen a man. He told him the whole story mentioned above, and that he's looking for a golden mountain and a pearl castle. He replied to him, it certainly does not exist. And he dissuaded him and said to him, they have convinced you with nonsense, because it certainly does not exist. He started to weep very much. The Viceroy cried very much and said, with certainty it does exist in some place. With certainty it does exist. With certainty it does exist in some place. With certainty it does exist in some place. Nach, nachma, meuman. With certainty it does exist in some place, but But he dissuaded him and said, certainly they have convinced you with nonsense. He said, certainly it exists somewhere. He said to him, in my opinion, it is nonsense, but because you are so stubborn, look, I am the appointee over all the animals. I will act for your sake and summon all the animals, since they run all over the world. Maybe one of them will know of that mountain and that castle. Nach, nachman, meuman. Since they run all over the world, maybe one of them will know of that mountain and that castle. Nach, nachman, nach, nachman, meuman. Nachma, since they run all over the world, maybe one of them will know of that mountain and that castle. He summoned all the animals, from small to large, all sorts of animals, and asked them. They all replied that they had not seen. He said to him, see, they have talked nonsense into you. They have talked nonsense into you. If you want to listen to me, turn back, because certainly nach, nachman, meuman. If you want to listen to me, turn back, because certainly you will not find it, because it does not exist in the world. But he pressed him very much and said, it must surely indeed be. He said to him, look, I have a brother in the wilderness, and he is the appointee over all the birds. Maybe they will know, since they fly high in the air. Maybe they have seen this mountain and the castle. Go to him and tell him that I have sent you to him. He went many years seeking him, the appointee over the animals, and again found a very large man as before. And he also carried a large tree, and also questioned him as before. He answered him with the whole story, and that his brother had sent him to him, and he too dissuaded him. The viceroy sense, this certainly does not exist, and the viceroy also disputed with him. It certainly does exist. 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 He told him, this man told the viceroy, I am the appointee over all the birds. I will summon them. Maybe they will know. He called up all the birds and asked them, from small to large. They answered him that they do not know of the mountain and the castle. He told him, nach, nachman, meuman. He told him, don't you see, it is certainly not here in the world. If you will listen to me, turn back, because it certainly is not here. And he pressed him and said, it certainly is here in the world. He told him, further in the wilderness is my brother. He is appointee. Nach, nachman, meuman. Nach, meuman. He is appointee over all the winds, and they run over the whole world. Perhaps they know. Nach, meuman. He told him, further in the wilderness is my brother. He is appointee over all the winds, and they run over the whole world. Perhaps they know. He went many years seeking him, and again found a large man as before, who was also carrying a large tree, and also questioned him as before. He also answered him with the whole story as before. He also dissuaded him, and the viceroy implored him likewise. He said to him, the third man, to the viceroy, that he would act for his sake and summon the winds and asked them. He called them, and all the winds came, and he asked them, all of them. Nach, nachman, when he called them, and all the winds came, and he asked all of them. Not one of them knew of the mountain and the castle. He said to him, the third man, to the viceroy, don't you see that the whole that you have been told nonsense? Don't you see that you have been told? Nonsense, the viceroy, nonsense. The viceroy began to cry very much and said, I know it surely does exist. Just then he saw that another winds had arrived. The appointed became angry with him. Why have you so delayed in coming? Didn't I decree that all the winds should come? Why didn't you come with them? He answered him, I was delayed because I had to carry a king's daughter to a golden mountain with a pearl castle. He was overjoyed. The viceroy was very happy that he now married. The viceroy was very happy that he now merited. Hearing what he desired, the appointee asked the wind. The appointee asked the wind, what is valuable there? That is, what things are precious and important there? He said to him, there everything is very dear. The appointee over the winds replied to the viceroy, since it is such a long time that you have been searching for her, and you have spent so much effort, and perhaps you will not have a hindrance due to money. Therefore, I will give you a vessel. Nach, nachman, meuman. Therefore I will give you a vessel such that when you put your hand into it, you will get money from there. And he summoned the wind to carry him there. The storm wind came and carried him there and brought him to the gate. And standing there were soldiers who did not let him enter the city. He put his hand into the vessel and took out money and bribed them and went into the city. It was a beautiful city, and he went to a man of means and rented food and lodging for himself. For one must remain there, for one needs to see with wisdom and intellect in order to take her out. Nach, nachma, nachman, meuman. Nach, nachma, meuman. And he went to a man of means and rented food and lodging for himself. For one must remain there, for one needs to see with wisdom and intellect in order to take her out. And how he took her out he did not tell, but in the end he took her out to main salon. Second story, the tale to the emperor and the king. There once was an emperor, case of Caesar. The emperor had no children, and there was one king. There was also one king, but the king also had no children.